And take this opportunity of settling and a gathering. And gathering the giving of this time and space for the sense of gathering, collecting, recollecting, settling, a gift of attention, a whole experience of this. And the gift of this attention, receiving of this life. This body is a focal point in the experience of the whole of it. And they can't figure out how to get in. So we gather, giving ourselves the time and the space. Receiving the whole of experience, the whole of the experience of the body and the mind in the body. And the whole of it. The sense of the present all the time in the world. In this moment, this time, this space, shared and collected in me. allow experience to be received. And collect attention as we give to all of it. The whole sense of this being in time and space. The most subtle to the pressures and pains and pricks. However it is, the attention is offered, the experience is received, and the breath can provide a rhythm. Without rejection, experiencing the space and the consciousness in which this whole thing is. And the process is. Just this much, just this time, just this space, just this now, just this place. just this now. Just this place. And this time. And this space. And the all of it. The whole of it. Sustained. Gathering. It's the whole of the sense of the body, the attention through the body, the attention to how the body is, the space within the body and space without the body, the experience of the whole sense of this time, this space, this now, this place. I trust it's possible, it's given and received. in this knowing, in this life, alive and awake. And this learning, this opportunity to learn, this opportunity to train, this opportunity to practice. And I get asked a lot, what can I do? And that's the question of humans, because humans are supreme questioners, and that's a doing in itself. The question is to do. And then to do something more. And that questioning comes often with thinking. And believing in the thinking. And the believing within the questions that come from thinking. And a further extra bits of thinking. These are all words. And words are tools. When I'm looking at the workshop, where the various bits and pieces of equipment are, the various tools. And I was recognizing that some of these tools I know how to use and some of the tools I don't know how to use. And thinking itself is a tool. It's a conventional tool of communication and of building on itself more ideas. And the bit that humans find really difficult is not doing. And we like to do things. We like to try to figure out what to do. And to question without thinking is it's like, where does the thinking stop? And to question without thinking It's a conundrum. I think in Japanese it's called a koan. It's a mechanism for questioning without thinking, getting to questioning without thinking. But on a more down-to-earth and practical level, what to do. And the practice is quite clearly set out in the Eightfold Path of what we can do. And what leads to transcendence is realizing and relating to the Four Noble Truths. So, which is why, the beginning of the Four Noble Truths is pointing out the obvious, which we don't like to notice. And or we do notice and then we relate to in the wrong way, because in the Four Noble Truths, it's not just about, it's about relating to dukkha in the right way, in a way that is noble. So it's to know dukkha, to understand dukkha. Our habitual response is to try to get rid of it. And one of the ways is just to try to indulge in something, and the other way is to think, well, if I push hard enough, then I'll get through it. Because I don't like it. And so I'll practice this not liking dukkha and trying to get rid of it. Whereas the noble way and the liberating way is to understand it, know it. It's to this is what is part of this sense of separation that we experience. So what can we do? So we, on an ordinary level, when we do experience a sense of separation, practicing an assumption that if we keep doing things that are good and wholesome, there will be good and wholesome results. And that's where we sort of settle ourselves. In the doing of something that's good and wholesome, there will be good and wholesome results. And then you can practice if you want to think about things or resolve things, that the resolutions are about, on an ordinary level, not to harm, not to exploit, and not to indulge. So to not indulge, not exploit, and not to harm. Because indulgence is a type of harming. It's a type of self-harming. Because it's an over stimulation. And at a really gross level, it does go. It goes into self-harming. And so in that it's like, don't stop. It's a stop. It's not a doing. It's a practicing stopping. A practicing notting, rather than, and that allows things to. And then in terms of meditation, what I really try to encourage is the sense of noticing the whole of it, the whole of the sensation of being alive here and now. We've got this sort of squashed up bit that is that finishes just at the skin. But that happens within a context. And to actually allow that to be something that is alive, because the old question that we ask ourselves, is the mind in the body or the body in the mind? We tend to think of our mind just sitting up here and looking out, and that the experience of the body is in the mind. And that's so I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong answer about this. The way that the scientists talk about it is when people lose a limb. Somebody I know just lost the tip of their finger, and for a long time they felt that the tip of the finger was still there. It's a ghost experience. It's called a ghost limb, and you can play with perceptions of that as well. So it's the mind in the body or the body in the mind. And allowing the whole of the experience without trying to figure it out, because it's not figurable outable. It's not something that, allowing the sort of sense of inquiry that comes from just that, Now, it's really helpful to have a safe space for that, to begin that. And to feel that, and part of this is a humility. And there's a sense of, I really don't know what's going on. And it's a sort of back to admission of ignorance. Because when we know that we don't know, that's an incredible liberation. And it's a faculty that we have, not to be run away from. When we think we know, but we don't know, then the chances are we're going to make mistakes. So knowing that we don't know allows us to be careful. If we make an assumption, if I do good things and skillful things, and if I think, speak, and act in a skillful way, there will be good results. Then it keeps it more safe. I don't know what the results are, but this is my assumption. Maybe that arises because there's some confidence that it's going to, and that confidence is again a faculty that we have. And that confidence can grow when we see that it does actually work. When I do act in ways that are not intending to harm, not intending to exploit, not intending to indulge, the result is wholesome. The result is a blessing. The result is using this tool of thinking and this whole tool of this body and mind in a way that actually brings benefit. The cause of this dukkha is to be abandoned. It's the noble way to relate to the cause of this stress, this unsatisfactoriness, this sense of things are hard to bear. Is that sense of inadequacy, that compels a sense of I need something, or I need to get rid of something, or I need to become something else. That neediness, that tanha, that compulsion and desire to get something, to get better, to get rid of, or just become, have to do it. That makes for more stress. That is the cause of the stress. And noticing that, whenever there's that sense of neediness, and noticing the stress that comes from that. So the opposite, way of combating that, or going against that, or doing not following that, is a sense of I can give. And particularly, that's why in the meditation that I just brief bit of meditation, a sense of give attention, receive experience, gift. Gift is like you're not expecting a result from it. You're just able to give. And that takes away a whole sense of neediness. And having a safe space, it is easier to practice in a safer space. Because there's not the sense of I have to push things away. I don't feel overwhelmed. Can't cope. And get angry, frightened. When I can't cope, feel overwhelmed, I get angry and frightened. Push things away. I think, I can't stand this. Get me to the next place. Get me to the next place. Get me to the next place. And that's a stress-inducing habit. Abandon that. Now, how to abandon it? Is again this practice the path. Practice the sense of if I speak, can it be as best I can? Not exploitative, not lying, not just chatter idle, not gossiping, not spreading tales, bring people down. Can it be something that's helpful, communicative, supportive? Can my actions be ones that don't induce fear in other people? Practicing not stealing, not killing, not misusing sexuality. These things are ways of offering some safety to others. And not acting out of complete heedlessness, and not inducing heedlessness in myself by intoxicating myself or overdosing or indulging in any sort of intoxicants that cloud the judgment. So in giving that, one can give that. Give safety to others. That's It's an incredible gift. And to oneself, of course. And keep the effort going. The first effort is not to start doing things that are unskillful, that one doesn't already do. And one does do unskillful things, to abandon those. Keep going. In the sort of daily life, I say not to get overwhelmed. In places where there's a lot of stimulation and things are overwhelming, what one can do is to set up a sense of self-protection. So there's a sense of I'll protect this thing by not just being open to everything. It's a very idealistic thing. Sometimes just being restrained in one's senses, so one's not noticing so much, and with the attention inside more. So the sense of this is here in this space. And my senses are not going out to try to make something different or to notice too much. It's okay not to notice too much. It's okay not to, you need to notice enough so that you can do bits and pieces, but you don't need to get so involved in a lot of stuff. Over busy yourself with concerns about too many other people. I'm just repeating that one again. And it's not selfish, it's a sense of self-protection. It's, if your concern is here, then you can really protect yourself. So that, the story of the two actors, the older one and the younger one, and they had the act whereby the younger one balanced on a pole that the older one was holding. The pole was, a few meters high, and the younger acrobat would climb up the pole, and then the older acrobat would put the pole up and on his head. And the older acrobat said, I'll look after you and you look after me. You look out for me, what I'm doing, and I'll look out for what you're doing. And the younger acrobat said, that will never work. You look out, the younger acrobat said, you look out for what you're doing and get your right, and I'll look out for what I'm doing. And I'll get that right. And the Buddha praised the younger acrobat. Because, if you keep looking out and trying to sort everybody else out, it's not going to work. If you can offer the planet and all the beings around you and all the beings you get into contact with, the sense of, I don't need anything from you. I'm not trying to get anything from you. I'm okay. I'm happy. That's such a pleasant thing to come across with people, isn't it? When you don't come across people who are needy needing something from you. The sense of contentment. You're not asking somebody else to make you happy. I can only be happy when all this particular group behave in this particular way. That's such an imposition on the world and on everybody that you meet. I want everybody to make me happy. Such a sense of inadequacy is coming from that. Everybody should behave in the way that I want them to behave, believe what I want them to believe, act in ways that I want them to act. This is the way to conflict and war. So, it's the sense of stopping and knowing that this time, this place, this here, this now, not adding anything to it, not making anything more of it, not trying to push things away or pull things towards one. Not the sense of inadequacy that needs more, or overwhelmed, can't cope. Just every little bit that one can do that is good and wholesome, every little bit that one can practice which is not indulgent, not harming, and not exploiting. So that's the bit that one can do. As one walks through life, as one does things, then really giving continuity to the sense of here and now. One of the things that people used to say about Rinpoche, and I noticed, was that he was always, when he was doing something, this is what he was doing. He was very much this, here, now. There wasn't a sense of getting onto something else or regretting the past. It was always right here, right now, right at ease. And even when things, can go wrong in your life, be at ease with that. There's always going to be stuff that goes wrong. It's the nature of things. Just encouraging. There's, for me, a continuity of practice. Practicing the Eightfold Path of continuity. So keep assuming it. When you do find your mind wandering on this and that and all those bits and pieces, dwell on the Dhamma. My resolve is not to harm, not to exploit, and not to indulge. And then I'll keep the thoughts and the around the Dhamma. And when they go around other things, turn them back to the Dhamma. So that when you're doing something that you feel is indulgent or whatever, then come back into the body and then just know, is it why? What is happening? Reflect is a way of putting it, or recollect rather than maybe reflect. It's a recollect what you're doing and why you're doing it and what's happening, so that time and space is known. Here and now is experienced, because there's nowhere else. No, this. All the experience is like this. It's not going anywhere. It's not coming anywhere. It's not come from anywhere. It's not going anywhere. There's just this. This is it. This is where the blessings and the curses are made. And one can give in this. One can give attention. And one can receive this miracle, this mystery, this strangeness, which is called alive. Because it's incredibly precious. It's such a strange, a wonderful thing. And it's completely nature. It's not personal. It's just this much. It's out of control and out of my control. One can resolve things and one can do, but that's in the grand scheme of things. It's and what we tend to do with it is just pour on and practice ignorance. Practice ignoring. And the result is, of course, confusion and mistakes. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's just how it works. If it wasn't supposed to be this way, it wouldn't be this way, unfortunately. Because that's how nature is, it's impersonal. And not knowing that and confusing it compounds the stress and the problems. But that's how it is. And so I'll leave some time for questions and see how it goes. If there are, if you could write them in the chat. For those in the room next door, or not so far away, I'll come over and try to answer some if you've still got them later. Thank you. And if it's confusing, just ignore it. There are other Dhamma books and other teachers which can probably explain things much better. Best wishes. Okay. If there are no questions, that's fine. If there are, I'm just expanding the chat box so I can see it. You have to type your questions. Oh, gosh. No shortage. We have 5 questions to everybody. Whoop. Is any stage of jhana necessary for nibbana? It's all from the same person. Oh yeah, there's too much Dhamma. I sometimes have a panic attack. So much Dhamma to read, so much to do and listen to. Have a fast sometime. Back in my day, if we had one book or one small cassette tape, we used to treasure it. Yeah, there's so much stuff nowadays. It's overwhelming. Now, there's I think if you can pick one, what I would do, what you might want to try to do, is sort of ration yourself so that you say, I'll do one book a month, and I will try to really practice this. Because I think sometimes this is this thing about recollecting and collecting oneself. You get too scattered. And then you can't practice with continuity. And what jhana is about is collecting attention and collecting attention and intention. Because that then one can work with it. Getting too scattered is, as you've noticed, the energy is just all over the place, and you can get into worry, and you can feel inadequate and get caught in the sense of inadequacy. And if you keep practicing feeling, I just need to hear more Dhamma in order to get enlightened, what you're doing is practicing the feeling of I need to hear more Dhamma. You're not actually hearing the Dhamma. You're practicing feeling I need more. So you're just going to keep feeling inadequate and keep feeding the sense of inadequacy. Sorry. To have the mind dwell in Dhamma is not to feel that you need to stuff more in, but to realize what's already here. So, because I'm sorry, you can binge and you get sick. Yeah. That's the last of the Jatakas. The Buddha gave everything away. It's a good one. I haven't read it for ages, but it's a classic, and I'm not sure that I really want. They go for months chanting the stories of that one. Yeah, give it back to nature. Give everything away. Give your understanding back to nature. Potential. Vijnana talks about it. The Vijnana. I'm not trying to explain Sumedharama. So, he does a good enough job himself. I think what I tend to use is Ajahn Vajiro phrase, which is, I don't get enlightened. Enlightenment is to the sense of I, which I feel is more useful. I don't get enlightened. Enlightenment is to the sense of I. You think that I get enlightened, but no, enlightenment is to the sense of I, so that it's not that nobody gets enlightened, nobody realizes enlightenment. Enlightenment is to that sense of separation. So that's no longer something that is taken personally. The sense of I is seen for what it is, and that's the first stage. Yeah, and it was a long time. Gosh, too much thinking. One aeon in Buddhist cosmology could also mean the length of the time when one universe expands until it shrinks and ends. I've forgotten the kalpas. There's that whole book on Buddhist cosmology that I read, and then I forget it. It's the length of time that if there's a block of granite, and that's all there is. And then there's a bird with a silk, small bird, not very big. The block of granite is 16 kilometers square. And then there's a bird that's not very big, and it has a tiny silk handkerchief in its beak once every 100 years. And it flies across the top or around, and the silk handkerchief just brushes across the top of this 16-kilometer cubic mass of granite once every 100 years. When that granite is completely worn away, that's 1 aeon. It's a long time. So, billions and billions of years. Yeah. So, I mean, and what's a year anyway? And what's time anyway? Is it correct that morality is one factor? It's helpful to be moral, and it's helpful to practice the precepts. The 5 are necessary for human society, and I wouldn't worry about it. Now, if you think I'm a sotapanna or I have to practice to be a sotapanna, then again you've got this whole complex of you're believing in a personality. I am somebody. I need to do something. And I'm not sure if it's the right thing to do, or I'm not sure if I can do it. And those I describe as the first 3 fetters, which can't be got rid of by thinking I need to do something. And I'm not sure if I can do it. If I just read enough Dhamma books, then I'll get enlightened. I'll be a sotapanna. I'm not sure if I can do it. You see what happens? It starts to whirl you into doubt. I am somebody, I need to do something. I am somebody's personality belief. I need to do something. I need to find the right ritual to do something. That's Silabbata Paramasa. And then Vicikicca is doubt. I'm not sure if I can do it or if it's the right thing. And that's the nature of thought. I am somebody who needs to explain a Dhamma talk. I have to give this Dhamma talk in a way that it's going to be explained. I'm not sure that I can do it. And if I keep believing that, then that just goes round and round and round. I can't get out of it by trying to think my way out of it. You can't think your way out of it. That is just the way that happens. And a continuity of attention is helpful. Ajahn Brahmali, he's a nice man, said that mindfulness cannot be the cause of mindfulness. Saying that one cause is kindness, can you talk about the other causes? Ajahn Brahmali is the person to talk about them and explain what if he means the Buddha can only get... he's got a tremendous understanding, Ajahn Brahmali. I remember him from years and years ago. And I don't try to follow his line of reasoning sometimes. That would be in a context, and I've never listened to him give a talk. I just know him from before he was giving talks. He's a very, very nice man, and he's done a lot of very good work. I'm not sure what he means by mindfulness, and I'm not sure why he says that mindfulness cannot be the cause of mindfulness. And I'm not sure that I'm just not sure on that. So I'm really clear that I don't know what's going on. It's one of the causes of one of the things that is helpful is wise consideration. Why am I doing this? Where does it come from? What's it about? The basic mindfulness or wise consideration is to do with, what's clothing for? Only to ward off cold, heat, to ward off the touch of flies, mosquitoes, wind, burning and creeping things, only for the sake of modesty. This is what clothing is for. So this is how I'll try and use it. What's food for? Not for fun, not for pleasure, not for fattening, not for beautification, only for the maintenance and nourishment of this body, for keeping it healthy, for helping with this holy life. Thinking thus, I will allay hunger without overeating, so that I may continue to live blamelessly and at ease. This is wise reflection. Then you're careful about, this will support mindfulness. What is housing for? Only to ward off cold, heat, to protect from the touch of flies, mosquitoes, wind, burning and creeping things, only for living in seclusion and for as a place to practice. That's what a housing is for. So, reflecting like that, that'll support mindfulness, because you'll then know why you're doing it. You'll know what you're doing. What are medicines for? Only to ward off painful feelings that have arisen, for the maximum freedom from disease. So, and this is enough for life, for human life. So that sort of reflection will encourage mindfulness. Thinking about why I'm doing it and what's it for. Where does it come from? What are its properties? What makes it attractive or useful? What's the danger in relating to this, and how can I use it so I get the benefit and don't get caught in the danger? That will help with mindfulness. That's enough for today in this one. So this is the time and space in this here and now.